Welcome to the next episode of the MVP Taxi. Today I'm here with Steve Goodman, actually
Hello.
in Orlando on the Ignite 2019. Yeah. Welcome, Steve.
Hello, and thank you for having me on.
All right. As you see, normally I should be the one who is driving, but Steve got so much used to sit on the left side, so that's why, in England they're driving on the
I just got in the wrong side and we went with it.
No, it's actually a different reason. The reason for that is that, Steve, you have rented this car, and from the endurance side, it's simply not allowed that I'm driving.
Yeah.
And that's why you're doing that.
Yes,
so,
that's right.
Second day Ignite, how it goes for you?
The third, actually, that I've been to in Orlando, which is kind of weird because I didn't think that they'd want me to come for the first one. So to be here 3 years in a row is pretty cool. And yeah, it's been really, really good. I've been surprised a little bit, and also it's in a good way that there's a bigger sort of human people focus this year, and there's a bit more about how you can actually use technology rather than just the technology itself. So it's been quite interesting.
Yeah, it's for me too. For me, it's the first year that I could be on the Sunday session for the pre-MVP. To meet all these guys. We also had a nice drink on Sunday evening with Practical 365 guys. So that was a good start for me too.
Just somewhere around here, actually, wasn't it?
I have no idea. But
just we're on International Drive at the moment, which is like the main sort of strip for the OCC and Ignite. So in a couple of hours' time, this is just going to be full of like 40,000 techies all descending on all the bars.
Yeah, it could be. So yeah, how much they're participating this year? 40,000?
I think so. They come up with different figures. So, but someone said 40,000. So
that's a lot.
Thousands, tens of thousands of people.
Last year there were like 35,000. I thought, that's what I remember. But it's okay.
Lots.
Yeah.
Lots of people. Yeah.
So, what about you? So you're now 8-time MVP. I guess you started with Exchange MVP, right? Yes.
Yeah. So I started blogging in about 2009. So a few years before I became an MVP, like most of us, right? You find something you want to write about, and I was going to write about VMware.
Okay.
VMware. Weird, right? Because I was reading a lot of VMware blogs, and I started a tech blog, and I thought I'm going to write about VMware, storage, and SANs, and all that kind of stuff. And then, do you remember Live at Edu? So there was BPOS and Live at Edu, and I was working at university.
Okay.
And I was quite lucky in that we were doing an Exchange tap for 2010, and also had an opportunity to get involved in some of the Office 365 preview stuff as well.
Yeah, right.
So back then it was sort of the first time really that lots of organisations were trying out Exchange Online as similar in a way to it is today. So I got a chance to try out Federation before anyone had really made it work for things like FreeBSD and the beginnings of hybrid, and I was blogging about it, and I think there was a point where the Microsoft documentation on Exchange Online or Live at Edu pointed to my blog for configuring some of the original.
That's nice. Nice.
It's kind of like weird.
Today it's opposite, right?
Well, yeah, and I was helping out on forums and stuff like that. So after quite a while of doing that sort of stuff, Microsoft recognised me for it. They thought I was doing the right sort of thing. I think the thing that really took off on my blog was the Exchange Environment Report.
Yeah.
If you've ever seen that.
Of course.
And it's just a HTML report.
I think everyone knows that. So
it's probably less popular today because fewer people run Exchange on premises. But if you were doing like migrations, like I was doing lots of 2003 to 2010 migrations back around sort of 2011, 2012, it's quite useful because you wanted to see what was moving where, or once you're managing the environment, balancing out the mailboxes across databases. So yeah, it was that sort of stuff, and it sort of went from there. Really, I've been interested in obviously the cloud from the point that I decided it wasn't going to see me out of a job,
okay.
and carried on doing Exchange. bit of Skype, well, Link,
Teams now.
Yeah, and Office 365. Yeah, it's just progressed over the years and carried on doing it.
Okay, I mean, you're really doing a lot, and I also know your podcast you're making with Jay.
Yes.
Honest question. What's your wife?
It turned green. And I'm like, oh, better go. I don't want to get beeped at.
What? Okay. It's also part of it, so it's real.
Yeah.
Honest question, what your wife and your family says about that? I mean, now you're again away from them and you're here over, let's say, the big lake.
Yeah. You could call
happy
it
that you are away sometimes, or
no, not so much. No.
Not really.
No,
not like my wife, right?
Well, she's glad to see the back of you. I think there's a bit of that. Actually,
no, I'm just kidding. She actually came with me, but she just went today to LA. So, but she was here now, so
just go from Florida to LA as you do. Yeah. Just for the day, right?
Yeah. No, she's gonna visiting some relatives. But back to you. How is it for her? How is it for your family? I mean,
I think it's tough because my wife runs her own business.
Okay.
So she's busy with work and stuff like that, and she's looking after the kids. So usually when I'm at home, I don't travel too much for work because most of what I do, it's based in the UK.
Well, lucky you.
Yeah. So, and where I am, it's right in the middle of England. So I can usually get back before the kids' bedtime most days.
Oh wow, that's gold. That's gold. Yeah.
So I usually do the stories and put the kids to bed, but it is tough on her, and it's more work than doing the MVP stuff.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah.
The sort of.
But I guess she's proud.
Yeah, I think so. She's not going to say that very often.
No,
but yeah.
She don't have to say it.
No, but I think it's really hard because when you do a job where you're going off and seeing lots of different customers, and you're helping them out with Teams or Exchange, then you do a fair bit of travelling. But on the other hand, sometimes you get to work from home as well, so take the kids to school. But it's like one of those things where there's more I could do. I think.
Yeah, but I think.
And if she watched this, I'm assuming that I'll probably tell her to watch this.
Yeah,
so I have to.
She sees you more often, so
yeah.
At least on the camera. Yeah.
Well, yeah, I think a lot of people who do this kind of job probably have the odd argument with the other half, about you're away too often or you're not around to see all everything that the kids do. Like there's parents' evenings, and sometimes you just don't have any choice because you've got to go somewhere on a certain day and you want to be there. And I try and balance it, but it's.
You also can work from home, but too, right?
Yeah. And I think the writing and podcasts and stuff like that, that's easier than
I know.
The work
making
stuff.
Podcasting. I'm listening to the podcast from Steve and Jay in winter, and they are sitting in summer outside drinking coffee and eating ice cream. I will never forget that. Yeah, but for me personally, it's. I mean, when I started doing this, I mean. Everyone has his own reason why he does that. For me, it was also like giving some things back. But somehow, when I got first time contacted with you, I mean, when we got in touch with each other, it was for me it was cool because for me it was kind of everyone knows Steve. And maybe you remember last year when we met first time on Ignite. I swear to God, I went to Steve
before
and I wanted to make a photo with him. And for me it was such a cool moment. And I even posted last year.
That's really cool for me as well. I understand.
and it's simply, and I think, I mean, I don't know how it was for you or how it is for you, but I'm not in the same situation like you, but in a similar situation because no one knows me yet. But
I think a lot of people do, more people than you think.
Yeah, but compared to you, honestly. And the point is, but it gives, for me, it gives so much back, and I love to do that for the community, and I guess for you it's the same. And it also, I think, you agree, it gives you so much back if you get simply thank you from people.
Yeah, and nothing negative has ever came from sharing your experience with other people. Only good things.
That's a good point because I think this changed in the last few years. I think people started appreciating that people like you or other MVPs are sharing knowledge to the community. Before, I think there was more like kind of maybe some being jealous. That's what I felt about. But in the last, let's say, 5-6 years, that changed. They're really appreciating, and it makes actually simply more fun if people are here.
Well, anybody can share stuff. I think there's some people that don't want to, because for them it is just a job, right? And they go home at the end of the day, and maybe their hobbies are doing something entirely different. Going out fishing, kickboxing, fishing, something like that.
Not fishing like we know from IT, but
no, no, as in with a rod.
Yes.
So everyone has their own hobbies, and it does seem weird because it's like the kids sometimes. If I'm writing on a Sunday afternoon, they'll be like, "Oh, why are you doing work?" I'm like, "It's not work," but they don't see the difference. Because it's like something you choose to do, and you think, well, I'm really interested in this. I want to learn a bit about it, and I want to, or perhaps you've done something at work, and then you want to. I'm going to set it up. I'm going to do this so I can blog about it. So it's a strange sort of hobby, I guess, to do something that's similar to your work.
Actually, it's not.
But it's not. It isn't the same because you don't have to do it.
You're watching in the same, let's say, 24 or 21 inches of the screen, but you're doing a totally different thing. I mean, I know what you mean. It's from this point.
Yeah. Before I was like doing blogging and stuff like that, it's another weird hobby, and it did involve technology. But if you go to my blog, like the allabout365.com, and go /carpc,
we're going to share the link.
There's still stuff from like 2002 to 2006, where I was interested before. Like what we've got in the car, what you can't see is you've got Android Auto and CarPlay, where you've got a computer, right? You've got a £800 phone, which is a computer. And it's on the screen, and it has all my stuff with it. I'm in a hire car, I just plug it in. It's got all my stuff. It's got all my music. It's got the sat nav. It tells me about the traffic. It does all sorts of cool stuff. If someone messages me, it pops up, and I can talk to it and reply. And I was interested in doing that before those were in cars. So I took my car apart, well, 2 different cars actually, and bought a big touch screen in, with a computer in the boot,
and no SSD on this time. So every time when you went over some hills, you had to change the hard disk, right?
No, you just mount it so vertically, so it doesn't crash.
So you
before SSDs, really like stupid stuff like making sure that it had the right type of special power supply. Some of it you have to make yourself, some of it there was a very sort of small market because a few people were doing it. Jeremy Chapman, the Microsoft Mechanics guy, he was on the same mp3car.com forums that I was. We met a few years ago, and it turned out he was also into putting. He had a Jag that he built his own car computer.
Okay, wow. So now I try to understand that.
Well, I was in a few magazines, and the picture on the front of the magazine was a picture of Kit. There's Kit out your car.
Just with today it would be easy, even with voice recognition, huh? So I mean, did you just like this Siri and Google and everything? Now it's Mercedes is doing the same actually. They also have the same Mercedes, and then they're gonna. So. You were just a bit before the time, with it, huh? Yeah,
I think a few years into it that BMW came out with iSomething called iDrive, and in one of the magazines I was in, they like pitted off what I built against that.
That's cool.
But it was like that was a similar sort of hobby, and then I got my first smartphone. I'm like, I don't really need that anymore. I can just put it on a little mount and it's got everything on it. And then I thought, well, I'll start blogging about technology. So it's a hobby, and I get a lot out of it. It's done all right, and it's fulfilling. I think that the thing about being an MVP though is it's not about you're not necessarily the best. There's loads of really amazing people in technology.
Yes.
But not everybody shares what they know with other people, or is willing to devote some of their own time to try and help other people. So it's a bit of both, because obviously, if you really don't know what you're talking about, and you're blogging, and you're doing podcasts, and you're just giving very bad information, then you probably won't be an MVP. But it's not a qualification to say that you're the world's best at something.
No.
It's Microsoft saying, yeah, we've looked at this stuff and this person's sharing good stuff.
We are kind of influencer for Microsoft, so...
Well, you have to be honest as well about what's good and what's bad.
Of course.
Because you've got Microsoft's documentation, which sometimes, traditionally with TechNet, was almost like a reference, really, to this is a commandlet and it makes a mailbox or something like that. But it wasn't really the context of why. Or when there's workarounds, or when there's unusual behaviours, or when Microsoft do something that is going to impact other people, then sometimes you're trying to not just influence.
Yes.
I suppose there is the social media aspect to it, but you're trying to influence Microsoft as well.
Yes.
To make their products better.
Yes.
So when we did a Practical 365 video, and they've announced at Ignite that you can talk to Outlook and it will read your emails.
Yes.
And rearrange your meetings.
How is it called? Play My Outlook? No.
Cortana.
I don't know. I thought there's Find My Email. Yeah, right.
But I think that's great. But it's like unified messaging in a way. So there's the next big thing, and so but you want Microsoft to be better at stuff. So you can't just be a cheerleader for everything Microsoft do.
You have to
if your true opinion is, well, I still need to be convinced, then you can't really hold that back too much, because it's great stuff. But is it going to be applicable, like outside the US?
Yeah, but to be honest, we are closer to the Microsoft side as well. I mean, we like the technology.
Well, we're not going to start saying you should go Google or something like that, right? No. Or go Slack.
Google what?
Exactly. No. Yeah. But you want there to be good competition from companies like Google. You want Microsoft to be the best that they possibly can be, because our careers at work are usually centered around it as well, and we want the best stuff for our users. If you work in a business, the people that work in an organization, or your customers as well, and you want it to be bug free, you want it to be innovative, and you want them to innovate and build on top of the product to make it better, so that it provides interesting stuff that's delivered. Because you buy Office 365, you've got all of this product where
you even don't know what you get. Actually, that's so much.
But years ago, you'd get all the stuff as part of an enterprise agreement or something like that, but you wouldn't use it. You wouldn't build. You might put in a SharePoint server, but you might not build all the integrations for site mailboxes in 2013. But you've got, that's a bad example. They've got rid of site mailboxes. But like the newer stuff, it's all pre-integrated. So you've got to learn about it and use it. So you want Microsoft to continue to innovate, make it better, because then it keeps us all in a job, to be frank. But it also keeps it competitive, and means that the stuff that you've centered your career around isn't going to sort of get replaced by another vendor like Google coming in and going, well, we've out-innovated Microsoft. We're running circles around what they've done. You want Microsoft to be at the forefront. So when something could be better and they're saying it's the best, you think actually it would be better if they did this. You want to suggest to them that perhaps.
But I say that's what I mean. Really, I'm still a rookie in this league now, let's say. But I have the feeling, really, with all these calls, with all these meetings we have by Teams, or these product meetings, and this beta testing or pre-stage testing, we can't even talk about everything we are doing at the moment. But I really feel that they really want to know our opinions, and this is so cool. I mean, I really like that. I mean, maybe we have different minds about it, but in general, we have a place where we can talk about, we can have a discussion about it, and someone from Microsoft gonna choose and make the right decision of it.
Well, yeah. So that's the thing. We do get to test things out before they go out to everybody else, and they want it to be the best possible product. And I think it's not just MVPs that they listen to, right? There's also customers who are also on these beta programs. So it's quite a wide, diverse community of opinions that they take. So sometimes they might not listen and go, well, actually, thank you, but we'll take that one and file it in the bin.
Steve, where do you see yourself in 5-6 years? Okay, being a millionaire, winning Euro Millions is not an option. It's not an option right now. So
I did try for that 175 million, or whatever that was in euros, and failed. Actually, at the moment, it probably was 175 million euros as well.
I think in 5 years you still will be fighting with the Brexit, but that's another topic.
Yeah, I think in 5 years' time we'll be considering leaving Europe or joining again.
So you mean coming to Switzerland?
I have no idea. I don't have a 5-year plan at the moment, because where I work, I really like my job and I like what I do. So I thought a few years ago I wouldn't be doing exchange, right? I thought I'd be doing something different, and I'm not. I'm still doing some exchange. I'm doing user adoption stuff. I'd see myself as still being a little bit hands-on, because that's the bit I enjoy.
Great, cool.
But I don't know whether I'll do something else like Azure or something like that, or but lately I've been getting more into some of the user adoption stuff. So getting in front of users, convincing a secretary as to why OneDrive is brilliant sometimes, or helping people build Power Apps and stuff like that. So I don't know, I really have no idea. I like the job I do at the moment.
That's great. That's cool. That's also.
And I don't want to be a manager. Right? No. I don't want to go into management.
Maybe one day when we roll. No, not currently. No.
I don't want to retire to be a manager. No, there's some people. That's the thing, right? Some people are really good managers.
Yes.
And they're great at people management. Some people really I like working with people and helping people out with stuff. And I like being a bit hands-on as well. And I like seeing things end to end.
Depends about the level. I mean, this classical that you have tried to switch on and off the computer. This kind of. No, I know.
I never minded that though. When I started out in IT and was doing IT support,
everyone started like this, I guess.
Yeah. I didn't mind the people side of it. Where I spoke to someone who's a customer, and he said, I used to think my job would be so much easier if it wasn't for all the users. He was kind of joking, obviously. And you've heard people say or joke about things like that. I like that bit. I remember going out to one call and a woman said her email had disappeared and she minimised it. I'm like, I do the same thing all the time. And where I worked for quite a few years, I worked at university. So I also learned that you can get a lot of smart people who don't know about technology. So you learn to respect people even if they don't know about this stuff. And your value is knowing this.
That's an important point, actually. Yes.
Well, yeah, it's like why people have an accountant, because like my wife started a business, I realised, wow, it's really hard. Newfound respect for people who do accounts and quite happy to pay someone else to do it. And that's the value that we often bring in IT, where we're good at it and we can help people do what they need to do. So I still want to be in a job where I'm still providing, value. And at the moment, I just can't. I quite like the place I'm at.
I think we have to change the line.
Yeah, I know. I was just going to slowly do it as if I hadn't parked behind a massive row of buses.
No, he's not. Yes, he did. Okay, we are already back slowly by the convention center. So I see the hotel I was.
We still got 3 or 4 minutes left. Yeah. Oh, were you at the Rosen Center?
Oh yeah. I love it, but we're not making adverts now for
There's all sorts of hotels here that you could stay in if you come to Ignite, if it's in Orlando next year.
Yes, really highly recommended. If you have the opportunity to visit this event for so many reasons, for networking, for the sessions, for the warm weather, hey, we're still in t-shirts, it's super warm, and it's November. We're recording this video in November, so
they said people said it was going to be cooler, and it's probably slightly cooler, but
yeah, 40 degrees is normally that's what you used to.
Yeah, you're not dripping with sweat. by the time you get between one part of the venue to another. But no, I really like Ignite. Where I work, we send a bit of a delegation. I don't know if you do the same at your place. We send a few people over, and that I think that's it's better than sending one person, because it lets the business get a lot of knowledge, because one person can't go to every session, right?
Yes, not possible.
And then at the end of the day, everyone shares what they've learned, and because we've got there's businesses, there's a company that owns us, which is a wider group, and we've got the company I work for, and I think there's 8 or 9 people in total that have went, and we spent the meal last night just talking about all the highlights of the day and the things that we've learned and all the exciting stuff, and writing that up, sharing that with the rest of the business as well, so people can go off, and then we can go back, and if we need to go and ask some questions to the right people in the product group, a bit of a two-way feedback, rather than just being locked at Ignite and then coming back and doing a quick presentation on what you learned, which is, when one person is the person that goes, it can be a bit like that. So I think it's always worth sending a few people. The one thing I learned a couple of years ago was, I thought, why are we sending one of the managers? And that was a real good idea, because that keeps the group together, because somebody's making sure that we're all staying on a bit focused on what we're supposed to do.
In my current company I'm working for, CEO, I mean, I'm the first one, no, I'm actually the second one from my company who could come to the Ignite. But they had now a challenge for all engineers, and actually I like the challenge. I mean, I'm out of it because I can already participate, but the CEO of the company said, like, the first 10 engineers who get a special some certification level are invited to go to the Ignite. And that's a good way. That's a really good way, and everyone is motivated, not just because of the Ignite, but in general, that you get this opportunity, and that's really, really cool. I mean, I spoke yesterday with one who had to pay all by himself and took the vacation that he can participate here, and that's really not cool.
That is weird, isn't it? I mean, it's the thing is, something like that is going to pay off for that person, because if your employer is sending you, they're investing in you. We do something similar. It's a good way of getting people to go, rather than you just being some favourite that gets picked. I should add, I've been 3 years in a row, but I've been lucky enough to be picked by Microsoft. So I don't get a pass from work to just go. And when I did get offered it, when I was a team lead, I did the right thing, which was say, well, somebody else should go, and if I get selected to speak, then great. I think if you have paid for yourself to go, and there's people that are getting sent by work, well, yes, it's great that their employers are investing in them, but if you're investing in yourself, then, well, that's the thing, it's like doing certifications. It's gonna help you in the long run.
It is. So Steve, here we are. Thank you so much for driving me around. Normally it should be my job. I think we're gonna do this again once. Hopefully I'm gonna see you also in Switzerland once. Then I will be sitting on the left side, gonna ride with you a bit about my country. You never know, maybe on the Ignite tour. Really thank you again for taking this interview with me, and
thank you. I've enjoyed it.
I hope you will have a good time.
This is a real cool idea as well.
Okay,
I really like it.
Great. So maybe you can be a spin-off in UK. Who knows? So.
I might have to look at doing the All About 365 podcast from the car.
As an idea. So, okay. I really hope you enjoyed the session. It got a bit dark in the end, but it will be fine. I'm quite sure of it. And thank you for joining us. And
thank you.
See you soon again with the next session. Bye.
Bye.